Hi, it's me, Ingrid INFP. And I've been thinking lately about a certain idea popping in my head again and again. It's not a goal and it's not something that I will ever really do in the near future. But I've been thinking of writing a book for INFPs. An INFP book by an INFP. In the way that Renaud Contini wrote a book for INFJs by an INFJ, The Ecstatic Soul. I haven't read that book for the record, but I'm sure it's a great book. INFJs are pretty good at writing. I think though that INFJs can be have really dense writing, which is why I haven't read Carl Jung. It's a bit, difficult to get through. I was looking up like INFP books on Amazon the other day, and there are certain books that are written about INFPs. One of them is Heidi Priebe's book, but she's an ENFP, so technically it's not by an INFP for INFPs. But I'm sure that her book is really good, so I might be buying and reading that as well. I don't know. There is one book that is supposed to be by an INFP for INFPs that has like a butterfly on the cover. I forget the name of it, but it seems like this is something that INFPs need and that INFPs want, or at least that I want. And I consider myself, obviously, the pinnacle INFP. That's a joke, by the way. Anyway. Sorry, there's a lot of snow outside, and so the snow plowers have been working all morning. Anyway. I have never written a book. I don't know how that would work out. I'm not good at writing plots, so that would be a positive thing that by writing nonfiction, I wouldn't need a plot. I am pretty good at writing nonfiction, I would say, considering that I was pretty good at writing essays at school. But this is like a big format essay, kind of like my master's degree paper that I had to do in medical school. That took a lot of energy and time. I would need to actually read references. So I would actually have to read Jung. I would actually have to read The Ecstatic Soul or Heidi Priebe's book, and probably read Biebs and Dario Nardi and Michael Pierce and all of these other authors, which I don't really know if I want to do. But I don't want all of these ideas to just come up from my ass, I don't want to just draw things out of nowhere. As a good TE user, I need to use references. Because otherwise nobody is going to take this seriously. I know that this is INFPs we're talking about, but INFPs are pretty logical people. We want our facts. So we don't want to just have me blabbing on about my half-formed idea of something that might have happened to me. I want it to be more, anchored in facts or whatever. More stable ground, So this isn't something that I'm planning to do in the nearest year or 2 or 3, but it might be something that I could start in these next few years. I have a friend who just wrote a book that's poetry based, but she believes in God, and unfortunately a lot of her poems are about God, so I don't know, I want to support her and buy the book, but I realized that anybody can write a book. It's not this lofty thing that I thought it was. But I kind of miss a book for INFPs that could help me feel less alone, that would connect INFPs, that would transmit information in a different way than what this channel is doing. Because this channel is great and I love it, and but it's on YouTube, and YouTube has the algorithm and everything, and YouTube, sometimes people stumble on my channel and they have no idea what an INFP is, and I'm like, how could you even stumble on this channel if you don't know what an INFP is? Like, my whole channel is about INFPs. It's about my life too, but it's mostly about INFPs. So I don't know how the algorithm works. Also, this isn't, videos are not like a book. A book is more like you read a little bit and then you stop and then you put it down and then you can pick it up again. Well, a video, it's harder to like save videos and then return to the same spot you were before in the video, and do a longer format video that doesn't get shown on YouTube. Anything that is over a half hour long is basically trash to YouTube. Basically it's calculated on watch time, so the amount of people who get through to the end of the video are contributing to it being shown more. But what if I start rambling about something different in the middle of the video and then somebody clicks off, And writing a book, it's like a finished product, and you can read as much or as little as you want, and it doesn't affect the value of it, So that's where like kind of the idea of a book is interesting to me. I have been wanting to write a book since I was a child. I just didn't know what I was going to write about. And I wasn't the kind of person who like would come up with a plot idea in the middle of nowhere. So I'm not like actually, in that writer mindset of writing nonfiction. I have like some few snippets of ideas, different scenes, but I don't have like a plot or a greater idea out there right now. I probably will get some kind of idea a bit later down the road. But I think writing nonfiction as a first book would kind of ease me into writing in a way that's writing a nonfiction book that I'm like half sure about would. Obviously it would be pretty niche because it's an INFP book, right? First of all, you have to know about MBTI, and then you have to also be an INFP and want to read an INFP book, which I don't think that a lot of people want to. I know that some people do, though. Then there's the whole question of marketing it. How would you do that? Would I self-publish it on Amazon, or would I go to a publisher? I think I probably don't want to deal with all that and do the self-publishing thing instead. But then I would need like a book cover and all that. So this is a very, very big thing to do, and I'm kind of feeling shy telling you guys about this idea of mine because it's barely the wisp of an idea. It's also like I need to figure out like, is this a viable option even? Like, I'm not looking to make money, but I don't want to lose money on the thing either, and I don't want to waste hours and hours and hours of my time doing something that is not worthwhile. I do like reading books, so writing a book is pretty much like the logical progression there. Well, not always, but you know, a lot of people who read a lot of books also want to write a book. In general, from my understanding of the world at least. I thought I would end this video with the books that I took out from the library last time. While I think of like what else to say about this like really terribly baked idea of writing a book. So at the moment I've been reading this book called English Expressions and What We Say in Swedish, and it has like all of these expressions, and it's like all that glitters is not gold is the same in Swedish apparently, but to say she's got a bee in her bonnet, it means you have a fixed idea in Swedish, but a birthday suit is, you know, these are English and Swedish, the Swedish translation kind of. So a blessing in disguise, in Swedish it's luck in the unluckiness, unluck. So, or that's another pair of shoes is that's another 5, which makes no sense, right? But, or let's see, the best of both worlds is the same. To by the skin of one of your teeth is with like being scared, a raw scaredness. I don't know. There are all sorts of things. To vanish into thin air is to go up in smoke in Swedish. And this is a really exciting book, so I like reading it. But it's not a book to read. It's like, you know, just like looking it up. And then I found this book at the secondhand boutique. It's called Go Figure, The Astonishing Science of the Female Body by Lisa Falco. And actually somebody got an autograph by the author in this book. So, and she's Swedish and living in Switzerland. And it's about the astonishing science of the female body. And it has, like, you know, the ovulation cycle and everything, a menstrual cycle. And it has explanations about all sorts of female things, which is pretty cool. I mean, here you've got the pathways for PMS and the enzymes and estrogen and serotonin. So this is a fun book to read. I'm also reading The Return of the King, J.R.R. Tolkien, The Lord of the Rings. I just started it with the audiobook. I'm also going to be reading this book called Educated by Tara Westover. That is apparently about a person in a cult, which I'm all about cults, right? And apparently this is very well liked on Goodreads. So I'm glad I found the book at my library. Apparently it's in the young adult category, but you know, that's why I didn't find it at first. And this one called Dopamine Nation, Finding Balance in the Age of Indulgence. This has mixed reviews because it kind of equates like liking something with being addicted to it, which, you know, isn't always the good thing to do. But, you know, as somebody with maybe ADHD, maybe my dopamine is a little bit messed up. So maybe this will help me, I don't know. So those were the books that I took out from the library. Now, about my book idea of a book. I am not sure like how deep I want to go into the actual basics of MBTI, because I don't feel like I'm the best person to explain it. I'd gladly do a collaboration with somebody else if they want to help me like edit or write it. Who knows, you know? There are many possibilities. I could jump straight in without explaining what an INFP is and what MBTI is, but I think that that's not really feasible for a book about MBTI type. I think that I need to get people who aren't into MBTI, and then I have to write a lot about MBTI before I can get into the INFP, the experience of being an INFP and the metaphysicality of it, like the phenomenology. That's what, what's his name? Joshua L., the INTP on YouTube, who is really good at explaining what an INFP is. So I recommend his channel. But, I can't use YouTube videos as sources for a book, can I? I don't know. Maybe I can. I'd have to ask every single person that I watch, like, if I'm allowed to take ideas from them into my book. This idea seems more and more impossible the more I think about it, but it is an interesting thought experiment. Like, what would I include in the book? I would talk about like the development of the INFP from childhood to old age, and what the functions actually mean to an INFP, and what maybe interactions with other types. That seems to interest a lot of people. I would maybe talk about, career ideas and paths, but not like in the, in the way that, or the list of careers that suit an INFP, but rather like what kind of considerations INFPs should take into account when they're choosing careers. I'd probably also talk about relationships, right? Because people are interested in that. I've personally not been in a relationship, so I don't know. But I could talk about like general, interactions between different types and, relationships with family members and with, parenting and that kind of thing. I don't need to be a parent to write that in a book, but it would be a little bit weird for me to talk about parenting in a book that I am writing. So maybe I could write about the stuff that I have experienced, and maybe I could have ideas from other people who have experienced these other parts of life. As I said, this is really not a clearly planned out idea yet, but I think it's good to like just tell you my thoughts, because maybe I'll get some kind of interesting input here in the comments. Before I get to the printing press and all that, before I even get to the typewriter, I need to kind of do a market analysis, kind of researching the topic, and view the information that I'm getting in the lens of, I'm going to use this for a book, and that's going to take at least a year to do, just to like open up my mind to that perspective, and like gleaning these ideas and maybe writing these references down or something. And then the next stage would be to like, build an outline and kind of figure out what I want to say in the book. And then would be the actual writing process. So this is maybe like 3 years down the road, by the time I actually get to the writing press. And then maybe 4 years down the road, I will be printing out the book, and actually selling it. So publishing it. This is a huge undertaking. I don't know even like why I'm having this idea, but it is nagging at me. So I hope that you guys maybe have some kind of inputs. Maybe you think that this is a stupid idea. Please write that in the comments if you do, because I kind of think this is a stupid idea too. So I'd be glad for both positive and negative comments about this. What I will not accept, though, is to say that an INFP cannot write a book. because the evidence against that is humongous. So do not write that in the comments. I do understand that INFPs have their struggles with writing a book. For example, the fact that I can't write plots. But there are so many INFP authors out there that I know that it is possible to write a book. And it is possible for INFPs to write a nonfiction book too. But, you know, you can write about like what difficulties you would see in the path that I haven't seen, or what maybe you know about certain possibilities or editors or publishers, or how to self-publish. I don't know anything about that world. So I have been looking things up, but it's not easy to navigate like a whole new space. So tell me what you guys think, and have a great day.